Hello and welcome back. I'm recording over a game one here just to show a unique little thing that happened. Um, but I wasn't recording, I was just recording the visual of this. So I'll go through it here. This is a new Abzan Company deck I'm working on, which has a ton more combos in it. So you can see here this hand is a bit awkward, but what I have here is a turn 1 Carrion Feeder can lead to a turn 2 Safi and a turn 3 Renegade Rallier, and then I can swing with a um, arbitrarily large Carrion Feeder and just kind of win and take over a game from there. Opponent plays a Monastery Swift Spear, which means I gotta change my game plan there because they can just kill the Carrion Feeder, and then my entire game plan is just out the window. So I play the Giver of Runes as a way to protect Carrion Feeder and or um, eat some removal here. Eats a Forked Bolt, which is interesting. But now I kind of got to decide what angle I want to take. Do I play the Safi here? I think I just need to progress my mana, so what I want to do is play the Birds of Paradise, which gives me the highest chance of winning somewhat quickly. Unfortunately, I do have to shock here to play the Carrion Feeder, and I definitely want to be able to put that in play. I have to choose if I value double white or double green. Since I have Spike Feeder in my hand, I value the double green more. And play my Carrion Feeder and my Birds of Paradise. And pass my turn. I gotta hope my opponent doesn't have removal spells. Either target here is a pretty juicy one for removal. Opponent's stuck on one land. I have no intention of blocking with my bird here. Creature is trample anyway, so I'd really just be saving 2 life. And here I have to decide if I'm playing Spike Feeder. Alright, and I can do a unique interaction with Spike Feeder and Safi Eric's Daughter, where if I have both in play, I can actually sacrifice Safi, target Spike Feeder, and then what I can do is drain Spike Feeder all the way down, gain 4 life. Spike Feeder comes back into play, and I can gain 4 more life as a way to gain a little bit of window or resiliency, just buy a little bit of time against an aggressive deck. But I think the best thing to do here is put myself in the best situation to win next turn, and that's just playing Safi. My opponent did not have a removal spell handy, and they are stuck on one land. So the first thing I want to do is attack with Carrion Feeder because he can't block anyway. There's no reason to let him sit back. I'm not playing around a Lava Dart that's not in their graveyard. So I'll put the Safi in play. Just need Renegade Rallier to win me this game. So all I need to actually have in play next turn, if like I drew a land, or if Safi can die, I just need the Carrion Feeder and 3 sources of mana to be alive. If it's I need to either draw a fetch land or still have the bird in play from that regard, because I can trigger Revolt on my own, thanks to Carrion Feeder. So opponent's Burst Lightning Safi. I choose just to make Carrion Feeder a little bit bigger. And then I don't need to sacrifice my bird because I drew the fetch land. So I'm pretty happy. I'm so happy I should have grabbed a plains there, and instead I grabbed a forest, but it doesn't matter because I win the game. So this interaction works is Renegade Rallier rebuys the Revolt trigger, rebuys Safi Eric's Daughter. Safi Eric's Daughter then is sacrificed to trigger Renegade Rallier, and then I sacrifice Renegade Rallier with Carrion Feeder. Now, because Renegade Rallier dies, Safi triggers, rebuying back Renegade Rallier, Revolt is triggered, Renegade Rallier buys back Safi, and I don't sacrifice first. I need to sacrifice Safi first, and I can do this as many times as I want. or as many times I need to, or as many times as MTGO clock allows. In this case, I just need to do this enough times to make my carrion feeder into a lethal punch here. But my opponent concedes when he's a 4/4. They see the combo. They're not gonna wait for me to misclick. So you can see here I have a ton of different little combos here. It's a really rough draft I'm working on, but running 21 lands. I would like to find room for a 22nd, but I can't always find that. I'm running 2 Giver of Runes and 6 Mana Dorks. I'm also running a Wall of Roots as a Mana Dork that doesn't die to run in 6. It also works really well with Court of Calling, especially when I'm trying to get sometimes up to 5 mana. To go over the combos in this deck, you already saw Carrion Feeder, Safi Eric's Daughter, and Renegade Rallier. Now, if you add anything else to that could be even additional combo. For example, you have a Soul Warden here. If you add Soul Warden to that, now you gain infinite life, have an infinitely large Carrion Feeder, and it just does a little bit more. We also have the Kitchen Finks, Carrion Feeder, Heliod combo, where you can just gain infinite life. If you add an Anafenza to that mix, now all of a sudden you have infinitely large creatures as well. Or if you add a Soul Warden, because you get an extra trigger of life gain, Heliod will also make your creatures infinitely large. So Soul Warden's got a kind of neat little piece to this. Also works pretty well with the Ballista combo, just gaining a little bit more life, triggering Heliod again. We have Spike Feeder Heliod. We have Spike Feeder Archangel of Thune. We have Heliod Walking Ballista. I think that's pretty much all the combos, but I do have an Auriok Champion in the sideboard, which can replace Soul Warden and also help the Kitchen Finks combo just gain a little bit more. The fact that Soul Warden's fetchable off Ranger Captain keeps me playing that in the main instead of just having a main board hate card against red and black decks in the form of Auriok Champion. Plus, I like that it's 1 CMC. That's really, really nice. Sideboard, I got some Mirran Crusaders, Aven Mind Sensor, Shalai, Linvala, 5 spot removal spells, the Auriok, or Remorseful Cleric, and a pair of Veil of Summers. So this is my first playthrough, my first little experiment with the deck. Obviously, it's got a good amount of life gain. It's a bit tricky because when you're up against aggressive decks, you can't, for example, just go for the Spike Feeder Heliod combo because then they can just bolt in response or try to do push, some sort of removal spell in response to kill the Spike Feeder so you don't keep comboing off, which is where like a Soul Warden effect can kind of help put an extra +1/+1 counter on that feeder. So that's the deck. Hope you like it. I'll see you in the next one.